Damn! That was badass, dude.
You gotta love that. Welcome to After the Bars Morning Show, people. What's going on? How you doing, Casper?
Dude, I'm doing amazing. I was up kind of
amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. I was finished editing that at 2 this morning.
Nice.
But I feel amazing this morning. I think just excited. Yeah. So I no worries. And I slept till noon yesterday. Because I didn't have a tattoo until 4 o'clock. So yeah. Yeah, wasn't that cool? It's a cool intro. Yeah.
I loved it. Absolutely.
And that's our theme song too, by the way.
Yeah, no, love that. Love that intro. So I want to throw a rumor out. I want to throw a rumor out because this rumor is gathering momentum. So I want to get in front of it so that if people talk about it later, allegedly there is a house that is owned by Sean Buffy Combs, bought in 1997. That was white with a horseshoe driveway, and it's within about 20 to 25 minutes of where that took place. Yeah. Allegedly, there's a lot of people reporting that. Apparently, a couple of days ago,
chick was talking about that, right? The girl, the 13-year-old, was 13.
She was 13 at the time, and what she described, and everybody kept saying there's no house within 20 minutes, and everything she describes is BS, this and that. And then somebody allegedly about a week ago, someone said, wait, he's got a house out there. But they kept saying, no, that house was purchased way after that. And as it turns out, allegedly, the house was 1997. And this girl says that happened in 2000. So I don't know, man. Voldemort and his friend could be in hot water. We'll see. But as of right now, it's just this stuff's just alleged. I hasn't hit the big time yet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Really is.
Well, speaking of ledge, so I'm tattooing on this guy last night, and I was telling him about doing this morning show. It's it's just kind of getting started tomorrow, and he's like, "Man, did you hear that Garth Brooks is allegedly a serial killer?" And I was like, he's like, "You should cover that on your show." So I mean, I like quickly looked up a couple of things, but I guess him and Tom Segura are beefing. The comedian.
Yeah, I know Tom Segura.
He has a podcast called something, I can't remember. But he's all part of that Rogan verse, the universe.
Yeah, funny
Joe
as
Rogan.
hell.
Super funny. And his podcast was pretty good too. But as I was looking for stuff, like literally 2 minutes before we went live, I seen just a quick snippet of Segura and Garth Brooks are officially blocked each other or something. So I think the rumors started, then probably Segura ran with it or just, laughed about it. And now they're beefing.
It's starting to catch legs.
Yeah. There's a ton on Reddit, and you know how much we trust Reddit, but.
Oh yeah, no, we like to sort to quote Reddit as source. I also that we got everybody here. I am fired up about this Diddy case. And I'm hoping that you're going to be out there for part of it with me. I really am. But I will be out. I absolutely will be in New York for the Diddy case. I am making that happen. I am going to be there. I'm going to be in the courtroom. If I have to pitch a tent in front of the Southern District of New York courthouse,
what kind of tent?
Well, could be happening too. The
morning tent.
I want to rent an RV. Yeah, I definitely. You know what's funny? We look back to prison and stuff. The pre-PREA, the Prison Grape Elimination Act.
Yeah,
I was in a state facility, and they gave me my jumpsuit when I got in, and they give you 2 of them. So
yeah,
and then they come through and they change the stuff out. You take your clothes off and they throw 2 in. Well, the guy walks away. One of them is torn out in the crotch, like you could put both legs through it. I'm like, this isn't going to work. And I put on the other pair, it's like a size and a half smaller than it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like I got the mammal toe kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's all bad. And I hit the little speaker box. And the woman that worked there, they called Buckshot Betty. She was the shotgun chick that walked in the, but she goes, I said, hey, this is too tight. She goes, how tight are we talking about? I go, I can't sit down. She goes, well, pop on out here and let's get a look at that morning wood. And if it's really too tight, I'll let you go back in and get a new one. And I was like, what the? So
but here's the deal. Before all that, I mean, it was okay to joke around like that. It's almost
have curtains on the showers. That woman would stand there with 12 dudes when they could shower.
Yeah.
And that was every single day. It was just not a thing.
Yep.
In fact, the first joint I went to had 6 commodes and all lined up with no stall doors between any of them and a shower on each side with no curtains. I was like, this is just, you know what I did? I punched a dude in the head first day I got in there. Because the guy said to me, he said, if you hit somebody, they're going to pull you out of the dorms and they're going to put you into cell living. And I said, oh, that works. You know, first guy that even looked crooked, I popped him in the head.
Well, you know what you really did, though? You really just aged yourself by saying commode, because like I think the last person I heard say commode was my granny in 1974 in her Dyersburg, Tennessee. She had a commode out back. It was an outhouse. She used to call it commode. And she was like, oh, I can't wait till we get that indoor commode. So there you go, buddy. Yeah. It's official. Well, you are an old man.
No, I'm absolutely an old man.
Can you see the chat? Can you do a roll call? You're really good at that.
I am.
I'm not so much a roll call, but say hi to everybody.
Yeah, Aspire to Inspire is here. What's happening? Auntie Monkey Pants, good to have you. We got to do this because it is the inaugural
yeah, and I just love everybody for supporting the channel already, man. It's amazing.
No, that's very, very cool. It really is. Let's see. Lisa Trimble is here. Kristen Melinda is here. Aspire to Inspire is here. We have Caroline in Canada. Love it. Love it. Love it. You know, this is going to be DS Kitty is here. Diane, what's happening? I am looking forward to this. Jane Aldrich is here. We're going to, I've never had technology. Lacey Silver, how are you? Feisty Kitty is here. Never happened to me before, Casper. So to have somebody with some talent after the bars, look at that. We even have, and Lynn is here. Burnsy25 is here. I love it, people. I really do. Hey, Ash Bash. Matt Cox is writing a satire book about Garth being a serial killer. He posted a video yesterday with Popcorn Planet. Well, how about that? Did you see that? Ash Bash says Matt Cox is writing
that. That's the only thing I've starred was that comment.
Yeah. Well, that's funny as hell to me. I could see Matt Cox doing that.
Yeah, I didn't know him to be satire. I mean, he like would get people's stories in the joint and then write them for him, and then now he gets like their checks for owning their stories. But I'm not mad at him.
No, it's a damn fine hustle.
Yeah, it's a damn fine hustle, and that's exactly. It ain't penny hustling, that's for sure.
No, it ain't penny hustling. I'm sure he offered you a book deal,
dude. That's like no, he did not. He called my video the piece of shit who found a glitch, a money glitch. He didn't say that, but that's what it sounded like to me. And then like afterwards, he was like slow to respond to my texts, and you know he lives with that creep Boziak. I don't know, man. I'm not trying to have a beef with those guys, but
no, I'm not either. But what happened with me was I went on and I even said, I'd kind of like to highlight the recovery stuff. You know what I mean? And the title of the video was "Master Criminal Teaches You How to Steal $5 million" or something like that. And I was just like, oh wow, that's kind of. And then the crazy part is like he posts the video, but he never edited it. So like 2.5 hours into my video, a black dude pops up that he's doing an interview with. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Oh wow!
On YouTube. Yeah, but I never reached back out after that one. And I mean, I got nothing against the dude. It's just that, well, you and I have conversations. He's, I don't know that he's a great conversationalist.
Yeah, he just kind of lets you run with it. I mean, my interview's 4 hours and some change long, and I don't know. It just felt I've talked about it before. It just seemed fishy. The whole thing seemed fishy. I wish I wouldn't have done it now. But having done that, I think it put you in my algorithm.
Right.
So
Yeah, no, that's definitely what happened.
How else could it have happened?
No,
Because
that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
So amazing.
But you know something, you live and you learn. You know what I mean? You live and you learn as you go. I've done a lot of interviews that afterwards I really wished I hadn't done. One in particular where they edited it, like viciously edited it. So by the time and we had talked about it beforehand, and I said I don't want to, I want my words exactly how they are, and they said absolutely, we're not going to do anything. And then there are questions that weren't even asked. They took things that I said and then had the host pretend to ask a question that I'm answering. And but I called the person up and got all gangster. I really did. I called him up. I was like, man, that's coming down today, or I am getting on an airplane and I am coming to see you. That's not the interview I did. Yeah. You know what? And a lot of people say, that it isn't such a bad interview. I just didn't like the way that I was portrayed. You know what I mean? The master thief thing's a bit of a bummer. And I don't know. And I never really considered myself a master thief either. I'm not, like, I knew some guys in prison that were, some of the things that guys did are so creative that you go, oh my God, like, how did you figure, crazy stuff. I did time with a guy that this entire thing's a setup, right? He opens up a business selling washing machines. Right? Washing machines, dryers, things like this. But he's not selling washing machines or dryers to anybody, right? He's not buying them. He's not doing anything, but he's got a guy that's selling machines. Yeah. They're listing these things as broken, and he's getting a paycheck from Maytag, and he's getting a paycheck from all of these different companies to repair these machines, and they're not repairing anything. There's nothing broken. And he did like 30 grand in the first year he did it. It was just a little supplemental income. And in year two, he stole $850,000 just put on the, like every machine that got sold out of this one place that got brought back 3 times. It just got stupid. But the idea, it made me think to myself at the time, like, how many people out there are doing that? How many people out there are skimming 6 little hustles a month and making an extra couple of grand? I probably would have done the same. I'd have been the same idiot though. It's like, because once it starts being easy, I think I've told you the story, my Russian scam story where I had people mailing me $100 bills and I was sending them back 80. No, I ran an ad in Russia that this was right when we changed the $100 bill. When we changed the 100, I had been over there doing business anyway, and I went to pay a waiter. I gave him American money. And he said, can I talk to you a second? You have a phone call. And I was like, I have a phone call? Like, I'm in Russia, in the middle of nowhere. I was like, all right. And I get up and follow the guy, and he goes, this bill's not real. We need another one. I was like, oh, no, it's real. I'm like, I'll give you another one. I'm like, but they changed the $100 bill. It's not, they didn't, these are the new bills. They're changed. And he goes, so all of the ones I got aren't going to be worth anything? I was like, oh, no, I don't think it goes down like that. And then I went back to the table and I started eating, and I'm like, holy crap. How many of these people are going to think that? And I was a scumbag. So I ran an ad in the paper over there in Russian that said, America just changed its currency and you better get rid of the old $100 bills you got, and we're buying them back right now. And I was giving like $84 for every 100 or something like that. And it's in the beginning, we had thousands of dollars come in and we were just mailing stuff back, and it was fun. And then it started to, like, we continued to run the ad, but in Russia, nobody throws these things out. Like, newspapers and magazines get passed around for forever. Yeah. And by like month 3, the amount of mail that we had coming in was terrifying. And we couldn't control, like, it was impossible to do with the 3 of us that started this hustle. And then it got impossible to do with 25 people and with 35 people, and with 40 people. And when you pay people to open up envelopes and take money out, you're going to get ripped off. Oh my God. Yeah, dude. Totally. I didn't even think of that. You have to have people working naked. You almost have to have people working naked. Every time somebody went to the bathroom, I was like, that dude's hiding money in his shoe. He's not going to the bathroom. But to make a long story short, with all of the money that we were making, one day I came in and there was like 4 bags of mail on the ground inside the and I looked at my partner. I was like, holy shit, we need more people. And this was on a weekend. And the Saturday delivery came, and it was 4 bags of mail. And I just looked at him and I was like, we are effed. Like, there's no way. And then we sort of just went, screw it, and started opening envelopes. And
yeah, that's dope, dude.
I got caught.
Yeah, I didn't start my hustle career till way later, like in life. Until I was 30, I had no hustle. I mean, I was a workaholic. Working for Microsoft and AT&T, dude, I was like a
but you weren't
full-blown
looking for angles.
No, I had no angle about me at all. But that all changed, man, and it changed pretty quick, And I have a counterfeiting charge, and since I've seen you, I got a counterfeiting charge and went back to the feds for counterfeiting, which is a dumb crime.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna go back to the feds, though, you may as well go back on counterfeiting. What, they give you 3 years?
No, 14 months. And the only reason I got 14 months, I would have got 9, but because I had the printer. If you have the printer, it's like having a gun on a drug charge,
Correct. It's an enhancement. Yeah.
Yeah. They have a name.
I knew a guy that got 5 years. And when he first told me he got 5 years, I was like, boy, that's not really much of a rip for counterfeiting, because as a bank robber, I got more time. And then he said to me, oh, no, you get a year. You get 15, 16 months. He's like, you get 2 years if you make a lot of money. He's like, I got caught. He had rooms full of cash. Like when they came in and got him, he had millions and millions of dollars that he had printed in there. But he was selling his stuff outside the United States. Like he would get this stuff and beat the crap out of it and make it look like, super legit stuff. And then he would take it down to Mexico and buy dope and things. It's dangerous line of work, man.
Super dangerous, yeah.
Super dangerous line of work. You know that there's this is the craziest crap in the world. I've been researching those guys that hold the stacks up and the rappers and all that, because their watches are fake. And I mean, I can spot them on a video. The watches are fake.
Well, there's companies in LA that lease stuff too, like fake watches, cars.
You can buy
rappers. Yeah.
You can buy fake stacks of money. Now, I don't know how that's not counterfeit, right? But that when I was researching this and I'm typing all this in and I'm looking at rips off, the ad for it comes up. They're showing how much it costs to buy, $250,000 of this currency. And it looks like what I ran out of banks with, I promise you. Like it looks real as hell.
Yeah.
And I'm sure somewhere on the bill it has to say something somewhere. But in the photos,
the movie studios, it'll say like the studio Warner Brothers for movie purposes, like on the bill, but the bill looks hella real. Like that's the only thing that's different. You hand that to a teenage kid at McDonald's, he's just gonna grab it and give you your change back. But yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And they sell money on the dark web too.
Sure. When I was in college, I had a roommate whose dad was a gangster. And I mean like a gangster. And when he told me what his last name was, I said to him, he lived in Meriden, Connecticut. I said to him, right? I said, so your parents whack people or what? Like, and he goes, no, they make fake money. And this was years before printers and all of that stuff. Like they were printing money. But
like with a big chief.
Yeah. Yeah. I only went to the guy's house twice. Both times there was a snowstorm, but the second time we were there, the kid's name was Joey, and he said to his dad, he's like, we're going to spend 2 more days here until all this melts off. He's like, I don't have snow tires. We're not going all the way back to Vermont. And his old man said, I swear to you, he goes, well, go into the safe and take a half an inch of 50s. He's like, go buy some snow tires. And he's like, break those bills. Don't give them those. Right. He's like, break the bills. And I was like, you got to be kidding. And we took so much of it back to college. And it was, every blow dealer in the city was getting 50s. We were passing 50s. The fake bills say props we trust instead of, there you go. That's interesting. The fake bills say prop we trust instead of God we trust.
Oh, no shit. Well, oh yeah, right there. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, they have to have, and I'm sure they use something totally different now because counterfeiting got so bad. Like here in Montana, counterfeiting got super bad with like all the tweakers making money with the printer.
I was about to say that where it gets bad with counterfeiting is wherever you've got a really heavy duty amount of methamphetamine. Because people that stay up all night trying to figure out how to get money to buy more meth, I've never bought, because just full disclosure, I buy fake money all the time because it's super easy to pass to drug dealers. So I was always buying fake bills. And I knew a guy who was a tweaker, and he would go to a casino that had old machines. There was one particular casino in town, and the machines wouldn't take a $5 bill if it had the new big red 5 on it. So this place would keep stacks of old money, old 5s and stuff in there. And guys would go in and get that money, and they take it out, because if you wash that, it's still got the stamp. What do you call it? The watermark. It's the wrong president, but there's a watermark on it. And then he would take it back. He would put 100 on it, and if you held it up like it, it looked, or put a 50 on it rather, they would turn 5s into 50s. And I used to buy those all the time and give them to drug dealers, because I didn't really feel bad about giving fake money to drug dealers.
Yeah, it sucks when you get them. I got some in Butte, Montana one time, like $600 in fake 50s, and this was post me going for counterfeiting. I sent a kid to the gas station to meet the guy. The kid came back with the fake money. First, I blamed the kid, and I pressed him, and he was so scared. He's like, "No, I swear, I promise." I was like, "Look, dude, I'm not going to kill you over money and drive. That's not what I'm saying. But who was it?" He's like, I don't know. You sent me there. I was like, and my partner had sent me the dude. You know what I mean? It was all bad. Yeah. But I gave him to a stripper or something. I know this is all terrible things. We were bad people.
But you know something? Exactly. And that's the key.
People doing bad things.
Yeah, I was definitely, I lived that life for a long time. But you know what? It does come back to you. I was, so I used to go and set up and do the watch shows. And I sold a guy an 18-karat gold watch. And I wholeheartedly believe he had no idea he ripped me off. But he gave me $3,200 for the watch, and 2 of the hundreds were fake. And I don't think he knew he had fake hundreds. I don't know how he got them or whatever. But he had bought like 5 watches from me. But the scary thing was I had to fill out police reports and all of that shit on that. I went and tried to deposit it all. And it wasn't, I had no other money in there that were hundreds. So it couldn't have come from anybody but this guy. And they were like, they said, these bills are fake. And I was like, so if I fill out papers, do I get new money? They're like, no, it doesn't work. So I lost my money, and I wasn't, I sold the guy 5 or 6 different watches. I wasn't going to go back and say to him, hey, what's up with, with your fake money, you low life. Not that I didn't think about it.
I'm still trying to get used to like being on YouTube and like talking about myself and like being like, super honest about like the things because there's a lot of shame. I have a lot of shame sometimes with that, even though, I'm back to my most authentic self ever, as cliche as that is. But there's still a little bit of shame to that. And I'm a people pleaser and I want people to like me. And, it's just one of those things. I'll get over it eventually, but
I struggled the other way when people do like me. I get imposter syndrome, something fierce, in the back of my head. I'm always like, if these people had any idea what I was like, the person that I used to be, none of these people would talk to me. None of these people would watch, even when we met. I mean, we weren't doing well when we met. Although, this is a strange thing about meeting people in that kind of situation. It's amazing how often you meet someone and they are in the weeds. Like they're doing everything wrong. They're screwing up every way you can. And yet you can look at him and go, oh, this is a good dude. It's sad that he's, what I mean? Like I knew I was screwed up bad on dope and just couldn't stop. And I think that's where you were. It was just, we would sit and talk about sobriety, people. We would sit in there and talk about it, get excited. And then someone would come in and go, hey, so-and-so on the yard just came in here and he's got dope. The whole conversation would be like, wait, it's over. What? He's got what? And we're trying to fish through toilets and all the shoot it.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Well, it's we weren't done. We weren't done yet.
That's the perfect way to put it too. That's the old timers will say, man. I remember talking to this old heroin addict, and I said to him, I was getting out the second time. I still did one more rip, but I said to him, he goes, "You gonna get high when you get out?" And I said, maybe once. And he goes, "We'll see you soon."
Yeah.
I was like, no. He goes, yeah. He goes, you just ain't done enough. He's like,
that reservation. You gotta know to do that last big one. Yeah, I remember I had 2 years sobriety. I was living in sober living, and I was driving from a noon meeting, an AA meeting, and it hit me. And I might have told this story on Night Yard, but it hit me that I never have to go back to prison because I never have to use again or drink again. and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was so happy. I already had 2 years. I called my sponsor. I called my old sponsor. I called all my friends. I mean, I literally was driving and like texting and calling people like, I don't ever have to go to prison again. And
those
they were
days
like,
are over.
dude, you've lost your mind. I'm like, no, but there's like, I got this feeling inside.
Yeah,
it was
epiphany.
like, yeah. And it was, I think that was the miracle, you know, I think that was the miracle that they talk about.
I was way, way, way sober, and I was way, way out of prison when that happened. That happened in a conversation. I had the same thing happen to me. I probably didn't verbalize it the same way, but I remember, you know, when I first started having a friendship with Reese before we cared about each other that way. We were just friends. And she said, "Do you think you'll ever go back to prison?" And believe it or not, no one had ever asked me that question since getting out of prison. Yeah. And I went, and I said, no. I said, no, there's not any chance that I'll ever go back to prison. And she was like, well, how can you be sure? And I was like, because I don't do drugs. And like the realization of, if you're not getting wasted, there's really no chance in hell you're going to go back to. And look, if you take, I'm not shaming anybody that's getting wasted as much as that may sound
not
crazy,
at all.
But the very small percentage of people who use alcohol and drugs crash and burn. It's just that I happen to know all of them, but it's a small percentage. The people that are going to end up incarcerated, dead, whatever, that's 3%. And then there's going to be somewhere in the 6 to 9% range of people whose lives are affected, right? They're not, they can live their entire life, but it's affected. Their quality of life isn't where it should be. Yeah. But we were in that 3%, you know, we're in that percentage of people that cannot ever put the stuff down. 80% of people that do chemicals, it doesn't mess up their lives in any way. In fact, as crazy as it sounds, it probably enriches it, because they drink 6 times a year and they do it with friends, and it's a social kind of a thing or whatever. It's when you start solving problems with chemicals. It's when you say, this is such a bummer, I'm not going to deal with it anymore. What happened to me when I was 6? I'm just going to get high and I never have to think about it. You know, that's usually what spins us down those roads that ends us in, you know, where we ended up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I'm so glad I'm here with you, man. I am so grateful that I'm here with you on YouTube, Tommy. Seriously, man, I love you, man. And I am just so grateful. And for this audience.
The crazy thing, people, whether you believe this or not, is at the time we were together, I said to him, when I get out, I'm going to talk to parents about how to raise drug-free kids. Like I was already putting this together, but I still had one more rip I had to do, because I got out and I thought, I can do it once. Right?
Yep.
I could do it once. One time it ain't going to hurt me. I could do it one time. I won't do it the following day. And the crazy thing is, I did that shot, right? And it was a shot, and it buckled my knees. I hadn't had anything like that happen to me in decades, but it buckled my knees. Like I slid into the car. I wasn't passing out, but it was a whoa, like that rang my bell.
The helicopter.
I sat down in the car. Yeah. Whoa. Exactly. You get the, in fact, trigger. I used to turn the air conditioner on so I would hear that noise. But I got the freight train, and I knew.
I'll be right back. No, just kidding.
This shouldn't take more than about 3 minutes.
I'll be right back.
I knew the second I did it. Yeah, I wasn't addicted, but I knew the second I did it. I was like, oh shit. You know, I knew that I had lit a match that I wasn't going to be able to put out. And I remember as it wore off going, I don't have to do that again. I don't have to do that again. Right. I don't have to do it. I'm calling the dude. I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
You know, literally calling the guy to meet me, and I go on autopilot. But the realization that you can win a war with your substance of choice by not getting into a war with your substance of choice was one of those real life-changing moments too. As dumb as that sounds, I remember thinking it like an epiphany. Wait a second, I'm not weak. I'm winning this war, but I win it by not throwing the first punch. Right?
That's right. That's right. And I think our relapse is
never going to throw that.
Yeah, like I was the same way. When I relapsed, it took jail for me to get sober again. But I think now with having the spiritual component so strong that like because I have had a relapse since I got sober, like in treatment, but it was a one-time short-lived relapse because my spiritual was so strong, and that, you know, that whatever that is, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, convicted me and like
You stumbled, you didn't fall.
Yeah. And so that was amazing. And I never had that before. And so,
yeah, it's an amazing feeling to screw up and get back on. I ate Valium and drank a crap load of beer. I did it not for any other reason other than to catch a buzz. Like I wanted to shut down everything that was going on in my life, and then got the guilt like I've never had before, because I'm sitting there going, I don't have to tell anybody this. No one's going to know this. Like I live in a virtual world. There's no reason whatsoever. And I start making the thumbnail. I relapsed, right? I went live because if I didn't tell everybody, I wasn't gonna, but I had never relapsed on any chemical that didn't lead me immediately back to smack. Usually it's a 1-day process. You know what I mean? Like I'll do meth at a party, or I'll do blow at a party, and the next day, because it's like that gave me permission. I got up in the morning and I didn't feel like doing blow, so obviously now I can handle this stuff. So we'll just try a little tar and see if that works. That's usually how. That's usually I could put every other substance down. I never had a problem putting them down anything but tar. That was the or any other version of it, Percocets or whatever. The morphine molecule has definitely got my number.
Yep, it's got mine too. There was
another plane crash.
Well, they come in threes, you know that. I was talking about that with somebody. That like I won't fly if there's been a plane crash. I really won't. If there's been a plane crash, I won't fly until there's another one, because they generally come in threes. I know that's only 2, but the chances are. But that freaks me out, and that's a real thing. And you can like Google it or look it up. But they come in threes, and it's sad, man. I feel so bad. With the technology we have today, it's never going to be mechanical, hardly ever anymore, like it used to be.
Because I don't know why that's redundant. The systems are so redundant. Goosebump says, what would happen if somebody slipped, crushed up opiates in your food or something? I would be just as screwed as if I did it myself. And the proof to that is this. I was out. I was clean. I had years sober, and I had a transient ischemic attack, mini stroke. The right side of my body was literally on fire. And when they came in to give me medicine for it, I told them, I literally said shit like, I will punch you in the face. Like I was, I'm like, I said, what's in that syringe? She's like, morphine. And it was, you would have thought she said sulfuric acid. Like I was crawling away from that woman. And I'm not blaming anybody, because I should have stuck to my guns. But my probation officer opened the screen and was standing there. And he's like, you can't scream in pain for a month or whatever this is going to take before this chills out. He's like, take the pain meds and we'll help you get off of it. And I know how it works. I'm allergic to this shit. Like it's a real no joke allergy. It doesn't make me break out in hives, but I'm going to go absolutely buck wild until they put handcuffs on me.
That was one of the hardest things I had to do, and my sponsor really had to like push me towards it, was to tell my provider and my attending doctor for my chronic back pain and to tell him that I can't do opiates. Yes, baby.
You can I'm red flagged in a computer. Like when I go in there.
Flag. Yep. He tried a couple of times. Yep. And then I just went back and told him, like, look, I gobbled that whole bottle in one day. I can't do it. He's like, well, let me just give you a few at a time then. And it was just to keep me out of the emergency room. And I was like, okay, we'll try it, just because, okay, I'll just go get high another day. Ate all those. I was like, look, we're done with the pills, with the opiates. You want to say hi, honey?
Well, I went to a pain specialist. Specialist the other day. And it was the same thing. And I went there even before I showed up. I had a phone conversation with these people and told them what was going on with my back, and said, if you're going to say, when I get there, we would like to try you on some kind of an opioid, synthetic or otherwise, or any other version of that, I really don't want to drive all the way downtown for this. And they said, oh, there are so many other options, right? And I got down there, and there just weren't a lot of other options. I mean, there were things that I could have that are really just unproven that they did. I ended up getting trigger points before I left, having them shooting Novocaine in my back, which bought me about 10 hours, 11 hours of relief. Not much more than that. But but yeah, as soon as I got there, they said, "Oh, do you know how many advances we're making?" There are time release stuff that I'm like, "Oh man, miss me with all of this." I am that guy. Like Keith Richards goes, "Rock, you need to slow down." I was, I had one speed, man. And it was, I would give my friend Jack my dope to drive home with, because no matter how much I had, I would do it by the morning. Like he could take it home. He would do one bag or whatever, and then he would bring it back in the morning and we'd start again. Because if I had it in the house, I was a lab rat. I don't care if the brick was this big. I would just keep chipping on that thing until I was done.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, we are one and the same in that aspect, brother. For real. I had a therapist in Venice Beach. I went to the Phoenix House. It was a treatment program in Venice.
I know what the Phoenix House is. Yeah.
Yeah, right on the boardwalk. And actually next door was Flea's house. Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, and she's like, and she was kind of crazy. She had to have been new. She's like, I really don't think you're an addict. What I think is you're like an adrenaline junkie, because like from everything that you've talked about, you just, because I chase the rush. It's all about the rush for me. I mean, everyone, and she almost had me convinced for a second. And then I went and told my program manager, I was like, I need a different therapist. I'm probably an adrenaline junkie, but I need something more than like, no, I don't think you're an addict, because I can easily tell myself that. I don't need someone else co-signing that sick thinking. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Have you seen the ads? I'm sure you have. There's an ads for a rehabilitation center in California. I will give them a shout out. That comes on and says, "We can cure alcoholism," right? Mm-hmm. Their pitch is, come on in here, right? We're going to cure you of alcoholism. When you leave here, you'll be able to drink. You want to talk about a great marketing plan? I mean, how many people do you think are going, hell yes, fix me so I can keep getting loaded? I mean, that's a hell of a pitch. The guy that does the thing said, I know, I was an alcoholic. Right? It's absolutely insane that people do that.
Yeah.
You're on the morning talk show. How are you?
Oh, we are going to be able to take phone calls here in the next month too, but that's going to be amazing.
It's on After the Bars is the name of the channel. I can send you a link. No, you're good. Not really. I'll call you as soon as I'm done. It's my girl. No, you know something? I have that system. I already have that system. I paid for it. I pay for it every month. I haven't been using it, but I've had it for over a year. We did call-in shows. We did about 3 of them. So I bought all of the hardware, software, everything you need to do call-in shows. So we can do those. That's something that we will definitely do, because that's a pretty good time. But Goosebump 801, it's another one of the reasons. If you watched last night, I was on Cults and Crims with my fiance. It's another one of those reasons. I'm paranoid like you wouldn't believe. The good news is this: you'd have to dose me with a lot. You know what I mean? I'm like you. Unless it was an Oxy 80, or if it was something like that. I mean, like Perk 30s, even those I used to take, 4 or 5 of those at a whack. I just had a really stupid tolerance.
Yeah. Yep. Off the rip, my tolerance is like, I always just called it my switch. My switch is turned on for opiates, and what will kill some people will just, it'll make me helicopter. I'm not saying, I'm just, what do they say? It calls like, oh, he's a hog. You know what I mean? That's what they say.
Wide open.
He's a hog. All right. You want to say hi?
From the stash.
She wants to say hi. She asked me a little.
Hello. Look at that smile.
We were gonna do something because I had a shirt at the store that said Tommy.
Oh,
really?
But then my dad put it back.
Look at that spot right there. I remember that. Oh no,
Tommy.
There you
go. There was a Tommy Hilfiger shirt. It just said Tommy on the front. I said, "Oh, we should get that so you can wear it and see if Tommy notices it."
Nice.
But then I can't, because I noticed that he put it back, because why we went to the store is because that day we were at our school. We were doing an event for the Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelsey at her school. Remember, I think I told you guys about that. Well, we couldn't find one, so I made her one.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
It just said champion already, and then my dad printed it out, or something. I don't know what he did, but he did something.
Cricket.
And then,
I used a cricket.
And then it said, champion Taylor Swift.
Nice.
It was cool. It came out cool.
What a beautiful girl. I'm telling you. You take after your mom. That's awesome. And I remember when my kids, that was my favorite time ever. It was after the front grill dropped.
Oh yeah. She just lost another one the other day. Yep.
Nice. I gotta love it. I agree, SMG.
Oh, okay.
Robin Bliss says she's beautiful. Must take after her mom. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I'm kidding. Look, I'm just jealous because you got a full head of hair.
Yeah. She is she's one of a kind. She's my little terrorist, but she's also my co-pilot. Like I take her everywhere. She's a warrior kid too. She takes karate already and she's amazing. So okay, honey. We're gonna talk about some news. I love you. Yeah.
Nice.
Isn't she cool, man?
I love that. Yeah. There's not much it's the juxtaposition every time I see your kid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The difference between sitting in that roach infested box for 7 months with the lights never once getting turned off to where we are today. That's there's nothing that hammers that home more than kids. It's wild. It really is.
It makes no sense, man.
No, but I love it when people say, well, what a coincidence. I don't know. I don't buy coincidences.
There's in the Hebrew language and in God's language, there is no word for coincidence. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I don't remember.
That's a good thing.
That's
a good thing.
Did Viktor Frankl talk about that? I don't know.
You know what? I need to read it again. Yeah,
huh?
I read that in that shoe. I don't know whether you were there at the time, but that was the first time I ever read that.
That's where I read it too. I had it mailed to me. Yeah.
I might have read yours then. That may have been where I read it. But wow, what a book, man! One of those things that just floors you.
Mm-hmm. So you want to get to what's that?
That's Johnny Scoville's goatee. I cut it off.
What?
No,
where is he?
It's this long anyway. So I just I whacked off the last like 6 or 7 inches of it. Oh man, if he unbraids that thing, it goes all the way down to his waist. Johnny's
no way.
Yep,
he's the crazy man.
He is absolutely crazy, man. He literally is crazy. We're gonna send you out some tubes of terror with your watch. You're really gonna have to
very powerful
peanuts to try.
What's that?
The Johnny Scoville tube of terror peanuts. You're gonna have to give them a try. You are familiar with my brother's products?
No, I'm not.
The tube of terror is the world's hottest peanuts.
That's a pretty bold statement.
Oh no, I mean there's absolutely no way whatsoever to argue. This right here is the Johnny Scoville tube of terror, right? 13 million Scoville crystals on top of this. You will never on earth eat something that's going to burn you like this. Even the Carolina Reaper peppers and all of that stuff, they max out at a certain, they can only do a certain amount. It's kind of like the difference between an opiate and an opioid. This is an opioid. This is synthetic. The stuff that's getting put on this, it has Reaper powder. It has, every kind of pepper you could think of, but it has enough capsaicin crystals that you will call 911 after you eat one. And I'm not being facetious. It happens all the time. You got to sign a waiver.
Right.
But we're going to send you a couple.
So do they sell it in stores or just from?
God, help us know.
because people could be hurt, right?
No, these are challenges. This is a challenge.
I need to learn more about all that.
There's a group out there called the League of Fire where they eat for competition, and you gain points by finishing challenges. That particular challenge, you have to eat the entire tube in a 10-minute period of time. You can't eat more than 2 peanuts at a time, 1 to 2 peanuts at a time. And when you are done, you have a 5-minute afterburn. So when you're done at the 10-minute mark, you got to go 5 minutes of not having any water, anything to take the stank off.
I use milk. I try to use milk.
Milk works really well. I use lemon juice if I'm really hurting. Lemon juice is good. But I ate one of those tubes in 43 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Guinness record kind of thing. I do own the world record for the fastest tube of terror, or did. I don't know if it's been beat, but I did it in 43 seconds, and it was hands down the most horrific thing that has ever happened to me. When it was done, I was on a talk show. I never would have done this, but I was on a talk show, and I got another 30 minutes. I'm on with a bunch of people, and another guy tried to match me. He had just gone to throw up, and I got this stuff in the back of my throat, and it's burning, and the guy said, "You beat your brother's record by a minute." And I said, "But my brother didn't drink anything." And he said, "Do you need to get a drink?" And I picked up, I'm not kidding you, I don't know if there's one here, a bottle of tincture, which is just alcohol soaked peppers till they get all the capsaicin out. And just to have the fluid to get it down my throat, I drank the bottle of tincture. And about 3 hours after the show, my body went, I'm not joking you, like folded in half. I cramped up. My knees came to my chest. I couldn't even stand up to go get my keys to drive to the hospital. Oh no, the picture you saw was after 1 drop of tincture. That picture you saw of me on the ground, that was after doing 1 shot of tincture.
Wow, dude, that's nuts. What do you need, hon? Paper? Okay.
Yeah, my fiance says, "Oh, I'll do a tube of terror. Let me eat one of those peanuts." I was like,
was she really?
No, you're not. Well, she had them at the house. I left them in bug tussle. And we were doing one of those 1 hot minutes that we do with my brother. And she's going, "Oh, I got peanuts. I'm going to go and do this with you." And we were like, no, don't do that. Right?
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
That's funny.
It's awful. Yeah, it really is. But I'm going to send you some. All right, let's get in the news. What do we got?
Let's get into the news. So everyone's probably heard of this. I just found out about this. The Detroit woman who sues Lyft after being denied a ride. Have you seen that?
No.
Well, let's check it.
Maybe. Yes, maybe I did.
Have you? Okay, well, let's just check it out anyway. Because I haven't seen the. Oh, wait, I started the wrong one. Hold on. Started the wrong one. I have some good stuff.
Are you really telling me I'm too busy getting your car?
Deja Blandings recorded it all. Her Lyft driver pulling up only to turn her down.
I was too big, and his tires, something about his tires. I asked him, "What do I have to do with your tires?"
This happened January 18th. The 29-year-old Detroiter was headed to a Lions watch party, only she never got there.
So you telling me I can't get in the Lyft because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What makes you think I can't fit in a car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The driver told her she needed to request an XL car.
I was embarrassed, and I felt some type of way about it, you know.
She's hired a lawyer
man's a gangster.
and is suing Lyft.
From a legal standpoint, it seems like obvious
Her old man's
discrimination.
been to prison.
The Elliott Larson Act, which is Michigan's Civil Rights Act, specifically protects people from weight discrimination. And the driver here turned down her ride because of her weight.
Deja says this experience has scarred her.
I haven't really left my house since that.
She hopes this lawsuit will change how people treat others of all sizes.
Didn't have to pay for extra for an Uber XL.
While Lyft does
She's
not
super pretty.
comment on pending litigation, they did send us this statement saying, quote, Lyft unequivocally condemns all forms of discrimination. We believe in a community where everyone is treated with equal respect and mutual kindness. Our community guidelines and terms of service explicitly prohibit harassment or discrimination. Reporting in Detroit, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Like, I did listen to what the guy was saying. He wasn't that rude, but because of his accent and because it was I mean he probably is a racist. I'm not saying he isn't, and I know I'm sorry, not a racist, but he probably did discriminate against her for her weight. But the car was a small car, and I just think that Lyft should have a policy. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing with Lyft. This is a bummer, right? What happens when you hire people who are, for all intents and purposes, independent contractors, right? Lyft, I'm sure, does not have a policy where they say, "I'm sorry, you're too big, you can't get in," or over a certain weight, you need to order this kind of car. So these people go out and do this stuff on their own, but it's going to be Lyft that ends up getting hemmed up on it. You can bet that. You know what I mean? She's not going to sue a Lyft driver who's probably making, $500-600 a week. She's going to sue Lyft. And I'm a fan of Lyft, by the way. Of the two services, that's the one that I use. I don't use Uber.
Really? I've
had a lot more success with Lyft.
I might switch to Lyft because I use Uber and they're constantly recharging my card for like Uber Eats and stuff. Like you can't not recharging like double charges, but like I'll quit the service, but then they'll charge it again. Then I'll have to quit twice and then fight them for the extra $10. But I guess in some states they don't need to have that. You have the right to refuse, right? But in Michigan law, I pulled this up on ChatGPT. Michigan law protects weight as a characteristic, and attorneys representing Dank Diaz argue this is no different than racial or religious discrimination. However, critics argue that weight is not the same as race or religion as it has logistical implications. True. Such as vehicle capacity and safety. Many also believe the issue is about practicality rather than bias, suggesting that requesting a larger vehicle is a reasonable expectation. I totally agree with that. And but I think the guy could have talked to her nicely or even said like, hey, let me get you an XL, like they need to have something more than just refusing her and letting her be on her own. You know what I mean?
He also made it sound like this woman was 4,000 pounds and she wasn't. You know what I mean? Like there wouldn't have been a problem getting that woman in the car. I think that was. It's based on some form of prejudice, and there are people out there that are absolutely prejudiced against people for 1,000 different reasons, and weight is definitely one of them. We live in a pretty ugly society.
But I remember when I was a kid, like you would be at the store with your friend, like say, like in 1975, be at the store with your friend. You guys are like running around and you see a guy that's overweight and he's probably just like even like 280. And you'd be like, hey, come check out this fatso, and you'd go over there and you'd be like, you tell your friends, oh, man, we seen the biggest, fatso at the thing. And I'm just saying that word just to tell the story. I'm not, I've been 300 pounds. Well, 280, 295.
You were pretty big when we were together. You were huge.
Yeah, I've been big, and I'll have to find some pictures. Anyway, and it was like not like seeing a unicorn or anything, but it was rare. So
now
I don't know.
50% of the population. I mean, and that's real. And I'll tell you something. We can go down conspiracy rabbit holes or whatever, but you know what? Excuse me. When we went from the sugar standard to the high fructose corn standard, everything seemed to change, in my opinion. Honestly, I mean, when we were growing up, I didn't know a kid that didn't drink 14 Cokes a week. You drank Coca-Cola, like everybody I knew. And it seemed like all of a sudden everything started to change, and it has a lot to do with the people that are making our food. They began to put things into the food to ensure that you wanted to eat more of it about 2 hours later. They engineered the stuff to spike. They knew what they were doing the same way the people at Facebook knew what they were doing with dopamine hits. They add sugar to things that there's no reason to put sugar in. Yeah, literally. I mean, they manipulate food so that it's designed to make you go straight up and straight down. And when you come straight down, you grab more. Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi are the worst. I mean, I don't know if you ever met anybody.
Why is that?
Because your body reacts to the sweetness, right? So when you put something into a beverage like saccharin, which is 1,000 times sweeter than sugar. Your body is still reacting and doing the same kind of things, even though it's not getting sugar. It wreaks havoc with your kidneys. We had a guy on the lifeboat in the first season that we went live, and he was on trying to quit Diet Coke. That was his addiction. And when he first came on, we're all in the same boat, and I don't shame anybody for anything, but when someone first comes on and says, yeah, I'm trying to get off Diet Coke, you go, how about that? We're all in the same boat. I said, how much Diet Coke are you drinking? He said, about 1.5 cases a day. Then you start going, oh my God, shit, 36 cans of soda a day. And no joke whatsoever, we lost him.
Yeah.
He ended up passing, and he was on dialysis. There's a lot of dangers in that stuff. If you read the back of one of those cans, it'll say contains phenylalanine or whatever. I don't know how you pronounce it, but common sense, phenylketotronics, whatever. Contains phenylketotronics. You look on the back of something, common sense tells you if every ingredient, right, is written this big, except that one, which is written this big, there's probably something bad about that one. There's a law somewhere that says if you put this frickin' poison in something, you got to write it 2 inches tall to let people know it's there. The problem is they're not educating anybody about that. But it is, read what that stuff is. If you do any research on the whole concept of the phenylketotronics, apparently if you take that stuff and put it and heat it to a certain temperature, it will become formaldehyde. I'm not even being funny. Research this stuff. It's pretty scary. I'm going
to. I did have a friend in high school who was overweight. We used to surf together when we were kids, and then we went away for the summer, and he put on 60 pounds, and we were kids. So that was a lot. He just kind of stopped surfing, just started bodyboarding and boogie boarding. And, but he got hooked on Diet Mountain Dew. Woo. That was his thing, man. And, it didn't hit me till way later, but I didn't think it was necessarily the Diet Mountain Dew. I just remember him being hooked on it, but it must have been.
The stuff is absolutely horrible for you, and it does not help you lose weight. I promise you it doesn't. I mean, honestly, it's not an effective way to for what it's advertised for. Now, admittedly, the amount of sugar that they put into a regular Coca-Cola is terrifying, bro. It's like a zip. There's 32 grams of sugar in a can of Coca-Cola. That's an ounce, man. It's a bag about this big at the bottom.
That's crazy,
I did a show on it. And I had a scale, and I actually weighed the crap out and put it in a bag. And I joked at the time, I'm like, tell me this isn't going to be a short, right? You got Captain Tommy holding this big bag of white stuff. But to show people how much sugar they actually put into it. He's Relapse. You can switch to water. Yeah, they love it. Toots, they call me. I'm a big Coke snorter, apparently. The funniest thing is, if you move to water, God help us, man. Learn to like water. You won't believe what it'll do to your life. Right? That's how I lost all my. I got to prison, and there was nothing else. You know what I mean? I couldn't get. Everything was diet because they know you're going to use the soda to make wine out of it. Right? You're going to cook off. You're going to put a stinger in there and boil off everything except the high fructose corn syrup. Yeah. And the caffeine. Caffeine doesn't go either. You get wide awake drunks causing all kinds of problems.
Put up your dukes.
Dude, you know something is embarrassing? The first time I bought your wine, I tried to fight the entire unit, and I did too. I was standing on the rail calling them punks.
It was that pH. I pH it just right with that muriatic acid. You know what I mean?
Give me a tear. Put it on this.
Yeah, it's got legs for days.
Legs for days. No, I knew a chemist that used to say, if you give me your tear, I can engineer the stuff. I'm like, yeah, we're good. I'm not that.
Yeah.
It'll blow your doors off. Yeah, I'm not sure I want my doors blown off.
So I do have another thing. It's kind of long, but I might just fast forward it to just the body cam footage. And then there's a link in the description. There's a link in the description. Yeah, it's a cop who arrested a dementia patient. I follow a guy. His name is the civil rights lawyer, and he's amazing. And I've seen his channel grow huge in the past year and a half, 2 years. Anyways, I sent him a message asking if I could use this. He asked everyone to share it, so he didn't respond to the message. So I'm going to put a link in, and I'm sure he's okay with it because he wants this story to
give him a shout out. That's a great channel, anyway. By the way, and I'm not just saying that because we're using the clip. If you've never checked out that channel, you should. He's a soldier.
He is a soldier.
He fights for people that people don't fight for, and that's awesome.
Yep. And this is a crazy, crazy story. And I have an update that came out yesterday. The mayor spoke out, and we'll be reacting to that together the same. So
look at Kristen Melinda. Jailhouse Sommelier. Sounds like a memoir title to me. There you go, Casper. I was the Jailhouse Sommelier. I love that.
She's so funny, dude. Yeah.
Kristen Melinda's got a great sense of humor. She really does.
We need to get whatchamacallits for this too, moderators eventually.
Yeah, to be sure, that would be a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not tripping on that, not even a little bit right now, but
and have fun. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. But I'm still learning to read the messages. And so like if it looks like I'm not listening, I am listening. I'm just trying to do both at the same time.
And what we're going to do next time, because of how we signed in, it'll be different next time because all you'll have to do is the producing stuff and I will run all of this, but I can't from where I'm at today. If I click on it, nothing happens. Tomorrow I'll be able to do that from here on a touch screen.
Okay. I did send over rights for you to do everything on the After the Bars channel too. I sent you an email to Captain Tommy Scoville. So I can resend it to Tommy
that's
Scoville.
What happens when you have somebody around that's intelligent. Now I'll just grab it off of that one. Captain Tommy works.
Yeah. And that way you'll be able to link it from StreamYard. Do you know what I mean? So let's check this out.
We're hoping for it.
66-year-old dementia patient loves to go shopping at Walmart with his wife. But on this occasion, he got separated from his wife and then absolutely mistreated in a disgusting manner by the employees at Walmart.
Store policy. You say that word.
Then the Walmart employees got their buddy cops involved. It went downhill very quickly from there.
He hasn't stolen anything, but he did walk in the back behind the customer service desk and grab these off the shelf.
Sounds like enough for...
That's the guy in the red hair guy.
His attorney claims his client was confused.
There's no effort to leave Walmart. There's no stealing a beer. He's following all of the directions of loss prevention.
And after seeing the surveillance video, he's now calling for the arresting officer to be charged.
Throw him to the ground. Watch ways down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The cops then wrongfully arrest him. They slam him onto the ground and they beat him, one cop punching him 6 times.
You're under arrest.
That's why I said no.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not taking these off you until you get outside the jail.
It hurts my hand. Me to put you in there, or do you want to get in there yourself?
Meanwhile, his wife is shopping in the store and has no idea.
They had asked for his license, and
he
knows what the license is for, but he doesn't know that's a license. You know, he knows he got that to drive. That's probably about all he knows.
Even though the cops later realized this guy was an innocent dementia patient, they and prosecutors tried to convict this innocent man and cover up their misconduct. But fortunately, this guy's lawyer discovered the truth, and now he's putting it out there. He provided me with all the evidence showing that they lied, and you can help by sharing this footage far and wide, because it's not over yet.
And that's what we're doing. So I'm just going to fast forward it to look at this.
Or from
the cop with the red hair. Watch,
it's a
watch
nice area, but whether a nice area or not so nice area, the common theme on Walmart's gave. He likes to repeat which basically what they're asking him for.
They had asked for his.
I'm sorry, guys. They're just kind of repeating the same thing.
So,
what's up?
How do they justify punching this guy in the face while he's on the ground being kneeled on? I mean, we're that right there is the issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and here's the thing: if you stand up with a cop, I'm not that dude, right? If you stand up with a cop and you do this, you get whatever you got coming, right? That's mutual combat. You're laying on the ground and someone's punching you in the face, and that person has a badge. They need to go to prison.
Yeah,
right. That's
and
assault.
It's because the Walmart people said that he smelled like beer, so they refused him, but he just couldn't find his ID. But they lied and said, oh no, he smelled like alcohol. The dude had nothing to drink that day. But he even says when the cop tries to put his hands away, he goes, "Hey buddy, what you doing, buddy?" He's like, "What are you doing, buddy?" He's like, he's calling the cop still buddy, even though they're being totally disrespectful to him. But yeah, I just
148.
That cop makes me so mad.
I can't get her to say anything to me.
Hey, have you taken anything? Are you on any type of medicine?
Oh, this was another incident with the same.
I need you to talk to me so we can figure out what's going on.
She's having a diabetic attack. Okay, here we go. They were just showing that these cops are all bad.
Listening to him, he keeps trying to grab it.
I'm not anti-cop
I don't know the
at
reason
all.
behind why she didn't sell it to him. So I was trying to figure it out, but he wouldn't listen. So
okay,
if you don't care, we can walk up here and try and talk to them, figure out what the deal is.
Let's go up here.
You did pay for it. They
go up there.
We're gonna go try and figure out what the deal is. Okay.
She wouldn't open up.
She told you she wouldn't sell it to you. That's why I'm trying to figure out why she wouldn't.
So let's go up here. I'm with the Danville Police Department. We're going to go up here.
Come on.
Okay, all right.
He's passed all points of sale.
He hasn't passed any yet. He hasn't stolen anything.
Hasn't
But he
stolen
did walk in
anything.
the back behind the customer service desk and grab these off the shelf. And he keeps
Sounds like enough for shoplifting for me. So you can either go up here, we can figure out, or I can take you to jail. Choice is yours.
Put that on here.
Look at that. You see that? The reason why this makes me so upset, I just want to explain this to everybody. That makes me so upset because the way that guy like cocked his arms like that, he's already looking to fight this guy.
It's over. He made the decision instantly, and it's already over.
Yep.
There are people.
That guy
This is
by
a guy that got
himself-
beat up in high school. This is a guy that shouldn't be a cop.
For good reason. For good reason. Not like by bullies. For good reason that guy got beat up. And those are the officers that I just despise, man. You see them twitchy when they like talk to you. They're like twitching. They do that little, twitch. And like a lot of them do have it. And like I said, let me say it again. I am not anti-officer, anti-cop. We've never talked about this before, but I am so pro-cop. I tattoo on a lot of really awesome officers, task force members, DEA guys. I tattoo on everybody. And marshals, U.S. Marshals. But cops like that give those cops a bad name. And those dudes need to go to jail. I hate that dude, and I'm trying not to be hateful, but it really gets my chest pumping seeing that cop act that way.
Well,
And
I mean, here's a guy with dementia, right? This is a guy that's lived his life, probably a great stand-up cat, and just this is why, and I mean I hate it, but this is why people talk about defunding, because if somebody were out there with a little bit of snap, but you don't need to defund the police, you need people with guns. But the people with guns should probably take a lesson from the Kristen Melindas and the counselors and go and learn a little bit of just basic human understanding, right?
Yeah.
Your first thought should not be, hey, this person's a scumbag. Look at how he's dressed. This guy doesn't look like a homeless dude out trying to raise hell. He just looks like he's confused. It's horrible.
Yeah,
It really
he's
is.
totally confused. I'm going to start playing.
You're not buying beer.
I'll carry it up here for you.
What is
and we
the
need to talk
problem
to
here?
them.
The fact that she refused you sell and you went and grabbed it anyway, we're going to walk out the doors with it. That's the issue.
I'm going to go talk to her, and I tried to figure it out.
He tried to go to the register.
Right. He wasn't trying to walk out.
According
He
to a
was trying to
statement
buy
that was later released,
Yeah, he tried to go to the register. The loss prevention Walmart cop said, no, come this way because their office is over there. So now he's saying, no, he was going heading towards the door. No, he wasn't. He tried to walk to the effing register.
Right.
It's all going to come out. This is the year of yep. This is the year of disclosure,
by
bro.
Chief Anthony Gray of
And
the Danville
accountability.
Police Department. He wrote, Danville police officers were requested to assist Walmart loss prevention with an uncooperative and intoxicated shoplifter who had become agitated when Walmart refused to let him purchase 2 cases of alcohol and other merchandise. After a store employee placed the alcohol behind a register, the suspect walked behind the register and took possession of the unpaid alcohol and merchandise and attempted to leave the store. As Mr. Hardwick's attorney explained to the news media, both the surveillance footage and the body cam footage that was later released showed all of that to be a lie.
According to a citation, officers were flagged down by Walmart staff for Hardwick being under the influence and trying to steal beer while having the odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from him. The citation also reads, Hardwick grabbed 2 cases of beer and then tried to leave the store.
You've seen this. There's no stealing of beer. He's not under the influence. There's no effort to leave Walmart. There's no effort to run with this. And he's following all of the directions of loss prevention. He's not throwing his arms up in the air. He's not causing a scene.
Despite the fact that the ignorant police officer says, sounds like shoplifting to me.
Sounds like enough for shoplifting for me. So you can either go up here and we can figure out, or I can take you to jail. Choice is yours.
Actually, the Kentucky shoplifting statute, 514.030, theft by unlawful taking or disposition, requires that a person unlawfully takes or exercises control over movable property of another with intent to deprive him or her thereof. The Walmart loss prevention officer admits that he had not passed any point of sale. And
point of sale. Did you hear what he just said? Okay, from a junkie that started out his bank robbing career as a booster, right? You know exactly where that point that you can walk, you can go like this, pick up stuff like you're getting ready to steal it, and go walking straight toward the exit. And as long as you bang out 2 feet before that, once you pass what they call the towers, right? Those are the things that are supposed to beep if what you happen to have in your hand has a security device in it. Okay, once you go past those towers, you have stolen something. Until you pass those towers, even if you take something and put it in your shirt, you haven't stolen it. This is something I know a hell of a lot about. Unfortunately. What he did, I mean, for the guy to say, well, it sounds like shoplifting to me, the guy's an idiot. I mean, he's literally an idiot. So, yeah, it's frustrating.
It's super frustrating, man.
in fact, he was only standing where he was because he was following the instructions of the loss prevention officer. He never attempted to leave the store.
He's passed all points of sale.
He hasn't passed any yet. He hasn't stolen anything.
There's no evidence that he committed the crime of shoplifting or any other crime. But
so he basically just explains it more, and I do kind of want to see the.
Well, and the loss prevention guy admits it. The cop says he passed all points of sale, and the loss prevention guy says he didn't pass any. Right? He hasn't gone past any of those.
So they So they asked him for his ID at the register. He couldn't find it, so they refused him sales. So he followed him over here. See the beer right there. Right. And then, so he came over there. This is before the cops got there. And then the lady put it over here. Well, he just stood there. He's like, what are you guys going with my beer? So he just went and grabbed his beer and went to go check out again. And that's when loss prevention said, hey, whoa.
Keeping in mind, he has dementia.
Right? Has dementia. Yep. And man, I know that none of these cops knew that. Even if he didn't have dementia, it was all faulty. But that he has dementia makes it.
Guess what?
A million times worse.
Step back. Be a cop. Take a look at this dude, right? Let me tell you something about people that steal. They don't fill registers with other crap. If he's going into Target beer because they said he had the beer, he had a bunch of other things, and they refused the sale of all of it. This guy's shopping. He doesn't look the part, right? I don't know, man.
No,
it just seems, even the loss prevention guy is like, he hasn't broken any laws. So why are you tackling him and bringing him to the ground?
And why'd you go get the police? Why'd you go get the police, dude? They were there for another reason, but still.
Almost all Walmarts in this state have a cop full time at the front door.
Oh yeah.
There's been so much theft at all places that there's now a cop full time at every Walmart. So and I don't know whether they're paid off duty or what it is, but I've not been to a Walmart since moving to Arizona that didn't have a cop parked in front of it.
Crazy.
Yep.
And this officer right here, he's been an officer for 30 years, different departments, and he's retiring out at this department. He's almost the worst out of all of them. And he's got all kinds of experience. So it's just sad, man. I'm going to go to the update. Is that cool? Is everyone cool with that?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Cause there's nothing more. I don't think they show the putting him in the chair. Someone mentioned that they do put him in a
it's
chair.
Your job and share.
Someone else also mentioned that afterwards, after his wife told him that he had dementia, they texted each other saying that they think she's lying.
Let's get this off.
They what?
After his wife told them that he had dementia, they the cops texted each other saying, "I think she's lying."
Oh, no way, dude.
Yeah.
And she's well put together too. It's not like that's crazy. Okay, he's
wearing a golf shirt. I mean, this doesn't look like, I don't know.
What's that?
Most people who are boosting stuff, right, are doing it because they're supporting a habit. This dude doesn't look like he's at the point of his life where he needs to steal to support his habit.
No,
it just doesn't make sense. It's just bad police work, man.
Yep. Gung ho.
Yep. All right, play that. Casper, did you freeze on me? You did. All right. So hopefully I get my partner back here shortly. There you are. Casper, you there?
Oh, did I freeze?
Yeah, you froze. Hit play. Let's see the end of this.
Oh, hit what?
You were going to do the update.
Yeah, this is the update.
All right.
Okay.
It's not playing. There you go.
It's not?
No, it's not playing on my.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
There you go.
City council meeting. The mayor spoke about it.
I'm working out the
police spoke about it. And now I've received a ton of new information from his lawyer, including the body cam footage of everything that happened at the hospital.
Figure out that he shoplifted. So at that point, we take him into custody.
He wasn't actually shoplifting.
When that gets to court, they'll probably dismiss it all and you'll never hear anything. She's like, I have to take him to court where he's not even under. Yeah, sorry.
Everything just looks so much worse. Spoiler alert, the mayor doesn't care. The chief doesn't care.
Wow,
the only ones who are going to care, that's us.
Wow, man.
Well, our police department publicly commented on the situation for the first time. The Danville Police Department consists of both highly trained and certified officers. We, the commission, and I have confidence in and rely on that training. This incident is complicated, and a full understanding goes beyond sound bites and short video snippets.
You can either go up here and we can figure it out, or I can take you to jail. Choice is yours. Put that on here. Let me go. You're under arrest.
That's why I said no.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not taking these off you until you get into outside the jail. It hurts my hand. Do you want me to put you in there, or do you want to get in there yourself?
And we will work to preserve and enhance the community's trust placed in the Danville Police Department. Our regular training and certifications reinforce the appropriate tools and tactics to protect our citizens.
Wow.
Does it not count as their custody if he's in their chair?
Yes.
Welcome back to the channel. Out of the hundreds of videos that I've done, this one.
I'm sorry. Did you read that? It's what you said.
Yes.
Oh, we're skeptical of the claim. That is just nutty.
Well, I want to tell you something. Look, just from a police standpoint, when they throw this dude on his face, his hands are already cuffed behind his back. All they had to do was walk him out of that building. His hands are behind his back and you're punching him in the face. He's cuffed behind his back and you need to punch him in the face. Where's the highly trained cop? Because I promise you that's not their training. You don't put hands on a guy that's already cuffed.
Nope.
Right? You can go hands on, by the way. I have no problem with a cop beating the piss out of someone that needs it. I don't have a problem with that. But once your hands are cuffed behind your back, there's no more combat. That guy can't hurt you. Why are you punching him in the face? If you run that video back, when they throw him to the ground, he's already cuffed. That cop needs to be charged.
Yep, he will. He's got to.
Needs to be charged.
Yep, because this guy's on it, man. He's on it. It's going to be huge, man. I just can't wait.
To me, more than any other that I can recall. Many of us have had family members with dementia, and how awful was it to watch these police officers and these Walmart employees abused this poor man. He was confused. He was attempting to follow the directions. Never attempted to leave the store. Never attempted to steal anything. Yet they arrested him.
Tried to go to the cash register.
Abused him. They knew his wife was there, and they took him without even talking to his wife. And apparently, what happened afterwards is they took him to the jail. We now know that the jail put him in a restraint chair and then decided that they would not accept him. So he had to be taken to the hospital to be medically cleared. And the new body cam footage that we have picks up there with these two officers, Godby and Ray. They still have Mr. Hardwick in handcuffs. He's still complaining that he's in pain from the handcuffs. The common theme that you see here is that they care nothing for this man.
Probably never
All they
in his
care
life
about
been in
is
handcuffs.
themselves.
He's never been in handcuffs.
Here, the officers
Never.
are debating whether or not he should even be in their custody because the jail already took him and put him in some sort of torture chair. At this point, everything you see now, they've been told that this man has severe dementia. And you'll see that not only do they not care, they don't even believe it. They want so bad to believe that this is just a regular guy who is intoxicated, which would justify their actions as opposed to the truth.
Well, and they can't refuse just because he won't blow into a PBT. Like that's not. We've had that fight with them forever. Like,
well, he's also in the chair.
Yeah, once we take handcuffs off, he's not in our custody anymore.
What's your name? God, please get it off. It hurts. It hurts my fingers. Oh, golly, it hurts.
And by the way, that is Officer TJ Godby. That
It's
is
a
the same
golly,
police
that
officer
hurts,
who was
man.
caught
That's
on
the guy
video punching this man with dementia 6 times. Now, they lied about it before. They've lied about it since. But you can see it on the video. He punched him 6 times. The community has created a petition calling for Officer Godby to be fired. As of right now, it has 6,719 signatures. I signed, and if you think he should be fired, go sign that petition. Or keep watching and see what else Godby does, and then maybe you'll want to sign it.
Let's get these off. Oh, it hurts my fingers bad. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts bad.
You know what?
Yeah. You want me to fast forward?
I'm going to take a slightly different approach, right? I'm going to
Let's
call
hear
the
it.
mayor's
Let's hear it.
office. I'm going to call the mayor's office. I'm going to call the police station, and I'd like to talk to the people that run this. And I'm going to tell them I'm recording this because I'm going to put it on YouTube. I want you to make me understand why a guy whose hands are cuffed behind his back needs to be punched 6 times in the face. If you think that man deserves to have a gun and a badge, then you need to step down. For real,
Yep.
This is one of the most egregious things I've ever seen. Look, have you ever been? I have been punched once in my life while handcuffed. Right? You don't.
Yeah.
It ends. And I called. I said I was going to be banging the guy's daughter or something. I was already in jail. I said something stupid. I told the guy I was going to lose 80 pounds banging his daughter.
Yeah.
I had my hands behind my back like this. He said, "You have no plan in life." I said, "No." I said, "I'm going to be a personal trainer." And I started telling him, he goes, "You're too fat for that." I said, "I was going to lose about 60 pounds banging your daughter." And he went crack and hit me in the face. But other than that, and I had that coming. I didn't even file a complaint. I got my picture taken with a great big black eye. I didn't even file a complaint. I had that coming.
Mm-hmm.
This guy had nothing coming.
Mm-hmm. He wasn't saying anything bad. He wasn't being disrespectful. All right.
You know what? I'll get that number, Nana, because I think everybody should call.
Yeah, I'll put everything on the description when we're done.
Look at that kid.
You can get this off because
He got beat up in high school.
I'm doing this right now.
Imagine not even understanding why you're there or handcuffed.
It'd be better if I could get this in the front. Please get this
Crazy.
off. Oh, it hurts. Golly, it hurts.
I guess that hallway bit.
This hospital is packed and there's no room for him. So they basically just send him to a bed in the hallway. From the very moment that Mr. Hardwick was placed in handcuffs, he's been complaining to them that it hurts him. Finally, Officer Godby agrees to undo them and re-handcuff him in the front where it would be more comfortable for him. Hours later.
Have your seat, baby. Please get that on. I'll put him up front for you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why don't you handcuff him to the bed like every cop who's ever done this before?
Yeah.
Yep, we've got to put them back on.
Oh, it hurts. Golly, look at that.
As they're waiting for him to be seen, Officer Ray takes out his cell phone and he begins to text. I'm not sure exactly who he's texting, As you know, my eyes are not the best. In any event, he's texting with some other cop, probably a supervisor, about the situation. I took several screenshots of the text as this is happening, and the most fascinating of those is the revelation that Officer Ray is texting this likely supervisor and telling him that, yeah, he's confused, but he doesn't really buy the act. Shockingly, he was wrong.
All right, bud. My name's Joey. I'm one of the nurses here. Society's back. There's only some vitals on you, okay, bud? Are you hurting anywhere? I don't need anything. I understand that, sir, but I need a few things from you. Heart rate, blood pressure, temp. Is that okay?
Yeah, Mindy.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, sir. But for right now, it does have to stay on. Are you hurting anywhere or anything? Put this on your finger. It's not going to be there long. So I'm going to take that as no. You're not having any pain, no complaints right now?
Did you, do you know the picture?
Put this one on the arm over here. Huh? Yes, sir. I'll get that off here in just a sec. No.
I'm waiting for
Sir, you know how tall you are?
someone to tell him, like, hey, this guy has
You know how
dementia.
tall you are?
Yeah.
Get all this. I'm fine. How much do you weigh?
You know what's crazy? He's not even looking at him. Right? The body cam shows you that he's not even looking at
all
the
this
dude.
stuff off as you ask.
Yeah.
The same tight. Doc will be able to see you here shortly, okay? If there ain't nothing going on, you tell him the same thing you told me. We'll get you out here lickety split, okay?
Okay.
You got contact with me.
Loss prevention at Walmart spoke to
Sorry, guys.
the wife on
No, you're good.
Okay.
She was en route to the jail, and then we got refused at the jail and brought here.
So she doesn't even know where her husband is. What a bunch of
Yeah. You got refused at the jail.
The fact that the jail refused him doesn't tell you something?
Yeah.
Right? The jail won't even accept him. What have we not heard mentioned? Alcohol, intoxication. Doesn't even come up. Nobody mentions it. Nobody mentions smelling it. He doesn't appear to be intoxicated. They're just checking his vitals. Clearly, Mr. Hardwick doesn't know why he's there.
Looking stuff to buy something and y'all went crazy.
Y'all went crazy.
Robin Bliss makes a great point. He's not screaming abuse and profanity like a normal drunk would be.
Yeah.
Right? Instead, he used the word golly. Yeah, it sounds like a real killer. Holy
Yep.
hell, man. Breaks my heart too, man.
Yeah. It's super crazy. I need to
Thank you,
there we go.
ABV.
Sorry, I'm not getting all the messages, guys.
Don't even worry
I'll get
about
it.
Look, we're ironing this out. We're having fun.
I know y'all were wanting, but nothing's wrong with me then.
Hello there. Your last name Hardwick?
This is all going to be in his trial too. When he sues these
One
cops.
of the text messages that I was able to screenshot where they're discussing that Officer Ray is skeptical that this man has severe dementia. Officer Ray writes, well, he remembers us, quote, going crazy.
Looking stuff to buy something and y'all went crazy.
Well, you know, I bet that is one thing that dementia patients do remember. If they get beat up by a gang of police officers, punched 6 times, yeah, they remember that.
We are going to get an EKG on you. Is that okay?
Pause this real
No,
quick.
I'm fine. I don't need it.
So I have a traumatic brain injury. This is my future, right? I've already been diagnosed, and most everybody on the boat knows that I've been diagnosed with this, and that's something that that I'm doing things to try to slow down the progression of. But one of the things that they tell you very early on is that trauma, because of how, and I've studied the crap out of this, we've done shows on it, because of how our brain is built. Think about the very first time you hear a train, right? Or anything, and you go, for the rest of your life, every time you hear that, you immediately back up because your brain knows that anytime there's trauma, it's not going to let you forget it because it's supposed to protect you from doing it in the future. So when you get beat on, when you get R-worded, when you get these things, it imprints a kind of memory on us that's different than any other. So it's not a shocker that somebody with dementia is going to remember the fact that you beat the hell out of him. This dude's an ignorant piece of dirt.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this. And who cares how it's coming out? Because none of us knew about this. This is important stuff. It really is. This is something that people should know about.
And it's crazy. Last week when I first texted him and asked him to share it, and then I seen he said, "Yeah, go ahead and share it." I was thinking morning show. I was like, man, it'd be cool to have a morning show. And then remember, you called me and were like, "Hey, what do you think about doing a morning show?" I was like, "Dude, I was just thinking that."
Yeah, this is
crazy.
Yeah.
He was trying to shoplift alcohol from Walmart.
Like I said, none of the medical personnel have mentioned alcohol. They're just checking his vitals. So Officer Ray then injects his opinion that he believes this man to be intoxicated. And his wife says he might have dementia.
We believe him to be intoxicated. Wife says he also may have some dementia.
What's your birthday, sir?
I don't need anything.
I understand, but you have to answer my questions to refuse. What's your birthday?
There's nothing wrong with me.
Sir, I need you to tell me your birthday.
Nothing.
Okay, then we're going to do the EKG on you if you can't answer my questions because I can't say you're medically cleared to refuse.
I don't understand the me why I'm off.
Okay, well, we're going to do an EKG on you. She's going to put stickers on your chest. I'm going to set this bed up for you.
So she probably thinks, he's probably drunk. That's why he's not
swing your
answering.
legs up there for me.
Lay back here. Lay back.
Yep, put your back there and put your legs up here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We're going to lift up your shirt so we can put the stickers on it.
There's just nothing about this guy that says drunk. Nothing.
I know, man.
He's already got discharged. I got to well, we got to put these stickers on. He doesn't know what's going on.
He doesn't know what's going on. Yep.
Now Mr. Hardwick's wife arrives. Officer Ray then tells Godby that he's going to follow her and speak with her about what had transpired at Walmart.
Sit still.
I bet you it's all lies.
I'm going to walk out and speak with her.
I've already been on there.
You got to go through there. You can't come through there.
I can't be with my husband.
Not through these doors, hon. And they got to let you back there.
Where?
What is it?
You can't come through these doors. You have to go through the other
I'm one
door.
of the supervisors. I kind of fill you in a little bit what's going on. So we were at Walmart
He's
for
a
an
supervisor?
unrelated situation.
I saw your
Yeah.
pulled in.
As we were leaving, one of the Walmart associates ran out to us, said, "Hey, can you help loss prevention with something real quick?" Asset protection. They're mystery shoppers, I guess, what people call them. So your husband was right there by the entrance. He had a cart with some groceries, some snacks, food, teas, and things like that.
Milk and muffins, and this is normal routine of what he gets.
And 2 cases of beer.
And his beer.
So they didn't feel comfortable serving him the beer for whatever reason.
Because he can't understand words.
So he's at customer service, so they take the beer and they walk it around back where they put all the returns.
Why did he
then
change
gets
his story? They
frustrated,
thought they didn't sell
walks
to him
behind the
because he
cash
smelled like
registers,
alcohol.
behind the back,
Right.
grabs the beer, starts to walk off. That's when loss prevention stops him. We get him to go back to customer service so we can try to figure out what's going on. Figure out that he shoplifted. So at that point, we take him into custody.
He wasn't actually shoplifting. Sure, he didn't walk out the door with the beer. He just wanted to buy his beer. I guarantee you wasn't shoplifting.
Listen to me. He walked behind a cash register where he's not supposed to be and was by the doors.
Oh, he went to the doors?
When loss prevention, so right there by
That's
the
a lie.
self-checkout, the main grocery entrance, not the pharmacy entrance, the main grocery entrance. When you walk in and make a left, like you're going to walk across the front of the store, there's a bench there.
Yes, that's where he sits, waits for me.
Yeah.
It's right in front of where he checks the wheel. He doesn't check out there.
Yeah.
He just goes to a cashier because he can't understand.
Right. So he was walking out past that bench when loss prevention stopped him.
Surprise.
This is what Sergeant Ray said. He was walking past that bench when loss protection stopped him. That is false. First of all, here's the bench that he's talking about. When Officer Ray first walks up to the scene, the loss protection guy has the boxes of Bud Light sitting on that bench. There's actually 2 benches there. The loss protection guy who works for Walmart told Officer Ray where he was standing right then and there, right next to those benches, was not past the point of sale. Quote, he had not stolen anything yet. That is what Walmart told Sergeant Ray.
I'm with the Danville Police Department. We're going to go up here.
Come on.
He's passed all points of sale.
He hasn't passed any yet. He hasn't stolen anything, but he did walk in the back behind the customer service desk and grab these off the shelf. You see, and he
Sounds like enough for shoplifting for me. So you can either go up here, we can figure out, or I can take you to jail. Choice is yours.
Put that on here. Let me go.
And in fact, he was only standing there
me every time,
because
dude.
the Walmart employee asked Mr.
Asked
Hardwick
him
to
to
follow
walk
him
over
to
there.
that spot. Mr. Hardwick was not headed to that spot at all. What Officer Ray is saying is false. And the asset
He was
protection
heading
guy
into
did
the
not
store.
even tell him that. In fact, he told him.
Yeah, these guys
heading
are all
into the
hit,
store.
bro.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I think the guy punching is going to get fired. Absolutely.
He
The-
needs to get charged.
He
That's what he
get
needs to
charged.
get. That's
Yep.
assault. They need
Yep.
to file. They need to press charges. The man had his hands cuffed behind his back. They threw him on his face while he was cuffed, and then started punching him. Oh, I guess you were
Yep.
afraid of getting your butt kicked.
Yep. And I promise you that mayor is not going to be mayor the next term or whatever he tries. I promise you he's not, unless it's. I don't know. I don't want to get into.
No, I
all the
think when that time
the-
comes, we'll have a pretty good time mocking him.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're bigger than. I'm not joking. These
Yeah.
people need to pay for this. This is what social media should do. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll put all the information in the description when I'm done. There's probably a call to action even on his video.
Yeah, it needs
So
to
I'll get all those links, and if anyone cares to
Krista
do that, that
Melinda
would be
makes
awesome.
a great point. Krista Melinda says it's scary. They know that they're wearing body cams, which means they think that what they're doing is perfectly fine.
That is scary.
As a convict who has been arrested in the process of shoplifting 20 times, 25
Mhm.
times, something like that. If they tackle you inside the store, you own it. You own it.
Oh, really?
I'm dead serious. You have to pass the point of sale. Once you
Yeah.
pass that point of sale, and they're hit. The loss prevention guy said he has stolen nothing, and that's what they did to him.
Mhm.
He has not passed any point of sale, right? You have to pass 2. He has not passed any. The only time they can do what they did, because I took this to court. So I was in a Home Depot. I went to prison for this. I was in a Home Depot, and I was carrying 2 suitcases full of rechargeable tools. Yeah, I was not a good dude. But I was carrying 2 suitcases full of rechargeable tools. On the inside pocket of my coat, I have a check made out to Home Depot that I haven't filled out yet. And I'm just walking. And as I got probably 40 feet from the point of sale, I got tackled. They took me to the ground, started putting cuffs behind my back, and I just started laughing. I'm like, you guys are done. Are you kidding me? I said, please go in the inside pocket and get the check out that I was going to use to write for these. And they took me to the back, and the whole wall, I went into loss prevention, and there were 3,000 pictures of me on the wall. I'm not exaggerating. in every outfit you could think of, at 6 different Home Depots, they had all of it out there. And the guy goes, what were you saying? I went, I'd like to talk to my attorney. I got real quiet real quick, but I went to prison for that. But normally, I mean, the only way they got away with it, the judge even admonished them for doing it and said, you're not supposed to be putting hands on people for any reason. But because of who I was and the fact that I was ready to plead guilty almost instantly, they were a little bit more laid back about it. But it's pretty ugly stuff, man. What they did to that guy is a crime. I'm not exaggerating that
Super
or making
crime.
it bigger than it is. What they did to him was assault and battery. I mean, the guy was cuffed. Yeah. There was a convict that you knew with me in the feds who had a scar. He was at Black Canyon. He had a scar through both wrists. He was cuffed behind his back, and a cop shot him in the stomach, and it went through both hands. He was cuffed. And he was a millionaire. He was a multimillionaire. He was just waiting to get out of prison because he still had to do time for what he had done. He had a bunch of drug dealing charges, whatever, but they shot him when he was cuffed behind his back, and they just wrote him a massive check. Not that it's going to make this right, but this guy's probably.
He was at Black Canyon.
Yeah, he was at Black Canyon.
Hmm.
Yeah, old white guy. He had perfect. I said to him one day, "What the hell happened to your wrist?" And he put up the other one, and I was like, "You look like you were crucified." And he said, "No, I got shot." And he had a zipper in the stomach. It went right through him and got him out the backside. And they had the nuts to go into court and say he was attacking the officers, which is why they shot him. He didn't work out. That scar kind of made that a difficult thing to.
Yeah.
No,
I do have that parole hearing you sent me. What was that about? Was it like
that's more for your entertainment. We would have to really pare that down.
Okay.
But you know what? One of the things that I wanted to touch on before we go though is the stints, especially they can't really come after this channel quite yet. The Voldemort thing is that I touched on in the beginning. Now that everybody's here, allegedly, folks, this is the rumor that's going around, and I'll probably talk about this at length on the boat. But they tried to discredit the girl, the 13-year-old, who said that she had been picked up, and she's autistic.
Mm-hmm.
But she had gone out there, and allegedly she's the one that went out to the party at the White House with the horseshoe-shaped driveway, and she went in there and met all of the people and blah, blah, blah. She was given a GHB. Same story. 13 years old, assaulted by Sean Diddy Combs, allegedly, and A and B celebrity. A being Voldemort and B being a woman who we don't know who it is yet, although a lot of people are speculating it's Beyonce. So we don't know, but that's the new one, is that people are speculating. He's been doing this full court press. They have filed, I don't know how many documents trying to get this thrown out before it even starts. And we keep saying, methinks the lady doth protest too much. It doesn't make sense that he is, the full court press and going after the attorneys and looking up dirt and sending down spies with fake badges. Well, as it turns out, allegedly, they found a home within 25 minutes of that place that it belongs to Sean Combs.
Yep.
That's a problem.
Crazy.
It's white. Allegedly, it's white and has a horseshoe-shaped driveway. That's the problem. Now, this leaked about a week ago, and I talked to some other content creators, and we were all talking about going with it. And someone said the problem is he apparently purchased it in the like late 2000s. It couldn't have been him. But I heard last night that it was 1997 that he purchased the home. Now, if these allegations turn out to be true, this is really devastating for Voldemort.
So she mentions that's in the lawsuit. She says it was a house with a horseshoe driveway, and it was like from the event.
Horseshoe-shaped driveway, yeah. And it was 20 minutes from the event. And what they started to do, part of Spiro has come out and done a press conference kind of thing to poke holes in this girl's story. She also went on the NBC interview where they tried to poke holes in the girl's story. And I've always maintained that you're going to remember this stuff. The assault is going to be so burnt into your head permanently that the things that happen right before and right after are not going to be like that in any way. You follow me? We've all had traumatic events. I don't know if you've ever been in a car wreck, but you're in a car accident and the car rolls. It takes a half a second for that accident to be over. But when you relive it in your head, it takes 8 minutes. But the drive from where you were, like the first car wreck I was ever in, I was in with Johnny, and we rolled the car 4 times. It was a terrible car wreck. When I finally got brought to the accident scene and realized I was miles from my house, in my head, I was a couple of 100 yards up the street. Because but I remember that accident. I remember every single part of that accident. Which window broke first, it's odd that way. But this girl's memories of the assault, and that's what she said. I'm telling you what happened. I know everything that happened in that assault. Maybe some of the other stuff is wrong. We have to start accepting that trauma does really messed up things to the brain. That's something everybody. It's 2025, man. We got to get our what together when it comes to how we treat individuals. The video that you just played, man, what a great example. This is why they want to defund the police. And I want to tell you something as a criminal. If they defund the police, you don't have any idea the world you're going to live in.
Yeah.
We lived in it. We spent a lot of time in that world. That's what prison is. All right. Prison is what happens when you let the inmates run the asylum. And if you let that happen out here, you're not going to dig it. I promise you. You know, walk around with a blade thinking that everybody's going to get you. It's not a fun way to exist. You won't enjoy it. But what they need to do, and someone said it comes down to training. It comes down to training, right? I mean, how are you not going to train people on things like people who have dementia or people who have a limited capacity of learning? You know, you got to do better. How sad is it when you're in prison and you see somebody and you're like, this dude's got an 88 IQ. Like, there's no reason that this dude ought to be in prison. Or, you know, I met some people in there that made Forrest Gump look like, you know, he was really, really sharp. And you just think to yourself, I did a show about this a year ago, but there was a boy that was a man, but that was put to death in Alabama. And they still allow you to make a ridiculous list for your last meal if you want. And one of the things he wanted was a chocolate cake. And he hid it under the bed. And when the cops said to him, why is the cake under the bed? He said, because I'm going to eat it later tonight. Like, this dude didn't understand they were taking him off to kill him. If you don't understand that you're going to your execution, you probably don't deserve to be executed.
Nope.
Yeah. True story.
Man, that is crazy. I think I remember you telling me that story before about the chocolate cake.
It's horrible, you know, but that's the world we live in.
I have checked out, you know, because I do a lot of court videos on my other channel. And I do have some video series, mental health matters. I hashtag it with mental health matters. And so I have checked on like what kind of training that a lot of officers do receive. And, you know, everywhere's different. Every state is different. Every county is different. They do have something called sensitivity training in most, you know, things. We've all heard that word before, you know, sensitivity training for corporations and things. And, but it mostly consists about race. It has nothing to do with like mental health.
Right.
Unless they go like on a 5150 call, then it becomes a mental health call. But something simple like that, they didn't smell alcohol in that, dude. The guy wasn't drunk. So none of those off, but they seen a guy with 2 cases of beer. They're assuming he's drunk. They think he's stealing, you know, I bet you the loss prevention guy feels bad now. I promise you does.
I think the loss prevention guy felt bad instantly. You know, when the cop said to him, "Oh, if we passed both points," he wasn't looking to BS. He could have thrown that guy into the bus and said, "Yeah." He said, "No, he hasn't passed either of them." I would imagine when he saw that guy get dipped, he couldn't be happy with that. But that said, there is a phenomenon among anybody that is in any kind of a combat situation. When they beat the piss out of me in Black Canyon, I was hanging there in those cages at in the shoe, right? I had my hands cupped above it. And I could hear them one room over talking about the ass kicking they had put on me in you know, the visiting room, talking about who got what shot in and who hit me. And here's the thing. It sounded just like us. It sounded just like us after a fight. There's no difference. And that's a problem when the adrenaline starts flying. Every single
and we've
person
talked about that.
Wants to get a shot in. You know?
Yeah, we've talked about that before, you and I, and on Night Yard, how the officers like they assimilate or whatever it is. Not assimilate? Is that? Am I using?
No, that's good enough. Right? Yeah, they very much become Stockholm.
They don't want to be called punks. They, you know, it's all they'll fight, and you know dude. I don't know. That's crazy.
So at Sheridan, there were 2 cops standing in the day room, and Sheridan is set up very much like Black Canyon was, with all the weird levels and all of that. So they're standing on the TV level, the ground level, and they're squaring off and yelling at each other. And these 2 guys went into the office, right, and beat the crap out of each other. Well, it's the only place in the world. Prison is crazy, right? Because any other place, the whole world would have come out to watch. And they're in there kicking it. You can hear the doors swinging open. And everyone's just reading books, remote, like not paying attention. But they beat the crap out of each other. And it was just, and afterwards they went about their business. It was very convict-like. It really was.
I've seen it a few times.
The first girl you had on today, when she said, "You got me feeling some kind of way." That's a big prison expression, folks. A big prison expression. Like if a guy comes up and says to you, "Hey man, you feeling some kind of way about that?" He's literally, it's getting ready to go down, you know? He's asking you if you want to go fight.
Yep.
That's crazy,
when people be like, they'd be like, "Hey, Casper, what's up?" I go, "What do you want to be up? What's up?" You know, I was always, when I was in a bad mood, I'd always say that. What do you want to be up? You know, just looking for a fight, man. And I'm not violent at all. You know, my first fight was in jail. You know,
the first guy at the SMU, and this was actually no joke. This was on a conversation that you and I had. But I got in there and I was probably 4 days in, and you're at a lockdown 24/7, right? It's just the worst. And he goes, "Hey man, I got a deck of cards if you want to." I don't know what you heard, fool. I don't play games, right? Like spittle flying.
Yeah.
I don't know what you heard, bro. I don't play games. Yeah.
Dude.
I was pretty happy to have worked it in. The other one that I used to do all the time is when every time you hit a new facility, they come to the door, especially a lockdown unit, because you can't go see them. They come to the door. And they say, how you doing? And they go down this checklist. Do you feel like hurting yourself? Right? No, I'm good. Do you feel like hurting anybody else? Well, you're starting to piss me off a little with all these stupid questions. And you got a door between you, so there's no way you could get in any trouble for it or anything. But I do that every time. I used to love that. Well, you're
that's funny.
All these stupid freaking questions.
Yeah.
But other than that, all right.
SMG Infinity says feeling froggy. I've used that one. I've used that one with my significant other, actually.
Yeah.
But not like in a real, in a physical way. Just like, I'll be like, "Damn, you feeling froggy this morning?" Like, she'll just be like on me. "Did you pay this? Did you do this? You got to go do this." Like, damn, this dude's feeling froggy right now. So, man, this has been pretty cool, man. I hope everyone is like enjoying it. It's going to just keep getting better and better too. I promise, guys.
It's going to evolve. I think, and maybe I think you're going to have a lot of people that agree. But I love the idea of using social media for good. I mean, take the time to go sign that petition. Take the time to bust the balls. It'll take you 4 minutes to call the mayor's office or to call the police department and go, "You're not going to fire that guy? Did you watch the video? Do you guys train people to handcuff somebody and then punch them 5 times or 6 times in the face while they're down? Because that doesn't make a lot of sense."
Yeah. Super nuts.
Disturbing stuff. It really is. Well, this was freaking great, man. This was great.
Dude, I was so excited for it. And I think it was everything I wanted it to be. And because I just know it's going to get better. I am a little distracted with all the things. I'm a little distracted with all the things.
All of this needs to be me because it's the only thing I know how to do. I can run the chat part of this. Don't worry about that. That should have been, and I'll do it with my second computer so it's touch screened and fast. And now we can have a
cool. Really and then I'll handle all the media stuff. But you can shoot me stuff that you and I want the audience too to shoot us like, "Hey, I seen this."
Anything you want us to cover?
We can
Absolutely.
do it in real time. Just shoot it, put it in I'll do it in real time, grab it. I have literally 4 screens in front of me. So I can have a browser in each one. I can, do whatever we need to do.
And I love the after the bars thing. It's really funny. I was telling somebody about this and they were like, "Oh, for people coming in late night?" And I go, "No, but I really dig that part of it. I like the people that are going to show up and be like, 'Oh, is this where we come when we're hammered?'" Kind of. Right?
Yeah. So I do too. I'm so glad how that came about. Like, I made the in the about section of the channel, I kind of like describe where you and I are coming from after the bars, or after you quit drinking, or it's the recovery aspect of it. After the bars, it's the prison stuff out. I think it's awesome too, man.
Love Mama Bear has played before.
Huh? What's that?
Love Mama Bear has played before. He says, so everybody's going to play this on repeat so that they can get monetized quickly. That's right. That's the nighttime. It's the nighttime shuffle.
Oh man, that would be amazing. I didn't even think of that.
Casper, when we did, now we really planned for it because I made the stupid statement to Reese. I said, when we were doing Cults and Crims, I said, "Yeah, we'll monetize within a couple of weeks." She said, "I guarantee you I could get it monetized in a day." And I said, "Oh, I'll take that bet." This is not a person to bet with. Like, she got everybody we had 8,000 or 9,000 hours of watch time by the second day or third day we were up. Like, wow. She's just a freak. Yeah, Quibs. Wow. Quibs is a freak. But yeah, you watch how fast that happens. The word will get out. I haven't really built for it because I wanted to get the first one in here and make sure we we had it, but I'm definitely going to be building for this, and I know my brother and everyone else will. So it's going to it'll take off quick.
Cool.
Love the idea of having the. It takes two really beautiful things together. I don't have any of those skills. I don't any of them, and it's great to be able to pull up these things and talk about them. You're gifted. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Katrina
Thanks, man.
says, I remember that. Yeah, I looked pretty bad. I remember that bet. I bet against you, Tommy. I remember that too. I remember you betting against me. It happened fast. It was crazy fast. It really was. What a beautiful kitty. I love cats, man.
Man, I do too. I'm going to introduce everyone to my cat next week.
Oh, and people.
Oh, thank you, the nurse who loved me. I appreciate that.
And I've had a lot of emails about the ASMR. I promise you, it is coming up this week. You have my word. So we have them done. It's just a matter of getting everything over there, and with all of the Diddy stuff that has been breaking, and with us doing this. But I promise you, it's coming. So,
well,
stay tuned.
How I gave you access to my thing, you should do that with me, just as the editor.
As soon as you show me how to do that, I will be happy to.
Okay. I'll have to make you a screen record video.
Yep. And if by some chance you guys have not hit subscribe to both channels, make sure that you do that, and be looking on the Lifeboat. I'll be going live probably within an hour or two. This was fun.
Yeah, super fun. I like this. Sam, your daughter has to do a cameo on every episode, like a mascot or a channel signature. That would be awesome.
She's a great little speaker. That wouldn't bother me at all. She's super
man,
articulate.
wait till she gets going. And she's not like over, like she knows when she said too much and she like bows out. She's the shit, man. Yep. I want to do a YouTube channel with her, but you know, I got a lot going on. And I am trying to retire from tattooing in the next few months. So like, hopefully like, I'm not trying to get rich. But I just want to pay the bills I paid with tattooing, and I'll be fine, man.
I got news for you. Rich people have no problem paying their bills.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's get rich. That's the,
look, she heard you guys, so she came back in. That's funny.
Nice.
Yeah. Now she's shy. Hey,
all right, people. Yeah, makes a great fart noise. All right, I'm going to get to work. Casper, this was absolutely phenomenal. People, you know where to find us every morning at 9.
Come say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You have a great day. I love it.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for coming out.
Fantastic in black. All right.
Shoot me an email or message if you guys want me to cover anything.
Yeah, and make sure that you click in that Dropbox so that you find out how we can hold those people accountable.
Will you?
Okay, brother. Thanks. Huh? Yep, we'll introduce the puppies next time.
Nice. All right.
All right, guys.
All right, everybody. Have a great day. That was awesome.
Bye. See ya.
I'd say you have to hit it.